Welcome back. Of course, this is Green Fix. You're watching TV 47. I am Shiksha Aurora, and with me in studio, we are discussing UNEA 7. That is one of the most coveted conferences that will be happening in the country from the 8th of December. Of course, 4,000 delegates are expected in Kenya, and I have the CS of Environment, Climate Change and Forestry. Her name is Dr. Deborah Barasa, and we are continuing to have this conversation, just kind of see how prepared we are as a country. So we've discussed the resolutions. We've also looked at what exactly our voice will be in this particular UNEA 7. But let's talk about how prepared we are. 4,000 delegates, it is not a small amount of people that will be in the country. How exactly, firstly, are we going to try and ensure that we are sustainable even while hosting UNEA 7?
Yes, that's a good one. And first of all, we have years of experience when it comes to hosting diplomats. And this is not really the first UNEA in Kenya. And we've had now a world-class conference here in Kenya. The security is tight. We've had enough personnel that have been trained over time. We've looked at the logistics, the transport for the delegates.
To ensure we're sustainable.
Yes, yes.
Is there carpooling involved?
Well, probably there is. Yeah, but the transport part, the logistics are good. The personnel are there. The security is brilliant. We've had our hotels where they will be there, and the security there is also perfect.
Right.
And ultimately, we're looking at the economy. We're utilizing such platforms to leverage and improve our economy. We have the communities. We'll have hotels benefiting businessmen, the artists who will be there, the youths who will come and showcase their best practice in various areas, and probably be able to get resources to fund some of the and champion matters of environment.
Right. So
again, positioning Kenya as a leader when it comes to environmental concerns. So it's again positioning us in the matters of diplomacy. So we are really excited about it, and we hope for success, and we believe everything will go well. Yes.
All right. I like that you mentioned that we are involving the youth, because as we do know that they are the loudest and the most powerful voice in the country, especially right now, the younger generation, when it comes to matters climate action, they are very much involved, and their groups, their communities, we also have things like civil society, women groups as well. So how are we ensuring that all these different groups are very much involved and they are included? And when I say inclusion, I don't just mean being a part of it, but being a part of it in the sense that it is meaningful and they have a voice and we hear their voices.
Yes. So yes, their voices will be heard. You can be rest assured. We have a youth day during the UNEA 7. Again, where they will have a platform to discuss their concerns.
Okay.
We have given them multiple platforms, whether it's the side events, the bilaterals. They have areas to showcase their best practices when it comes to environment and climate change. They have chances to reach out. They will also contribute to the resolutions. So we are saying that now it is all about a pragmatic and authentic approach, and it involves us including everyone, the youth, the women, so that no one is left behind as we move forward to the decision making.
All right, Dr. You've mentioned the decision making, and ultimately that's what we are looking out for mostly. What legacy do you think that Kenya is hoping to leave during this UNEA 7, and what exactly are we hoping to do? What is the outcome that we're expecting from the UNEA 7 for the country, not just the country, but for Africa?
The ultimate outcome is to come out with a decision.
Okay.
That is what everyone anticipates, I believe. But for the decision, again, is to ensure that the voices of Africa, the global south, is heard.
Yes.
When it comes to climate financing, predictability, increasing adaptation finance, capacity building, technology transition, and other critical areas that will capacitate Africa and the global south to address or work on the climate actions in their region. Again, diplomatically. We
Yes.
want to position ourselves as environmental champions. We want to showcase our best practices. We want to show that climate financing actually works, has impact, is growing the economy, is creating jobs while healing or restoring the ecosystem, as well as building climate resilience. And so we want to leverage on this platform to show Kenya's best practice, to ensure that we are mobilizing resources to support us in meeting the needs of the Kenyan people. Yes.
Right. Obviously, you know, when we talk about the UNEA 7, of the same level, we've had the COP30. And the outcome is something that, you know, we just saw very recently, which set out actions on maintaining plans to combat climate change in line with the 2015 Paris Agreement. And what exactly are your thoughts about the outcomes of the COP30?
Well, the outcomes, first of all, we wanted to ensure that we are securing finances. I was privileged to co-chair in the climate financing with the Global North representative minister. And for us, it was all about ensuring that we have resources.
Right.
Because without resources, we cannot implement these wonderful ideas that we've had. And so for that focus, I'm happy that they were able to identify it as a challenge and ensure that we are securing finances for or increasing adaptation finance.
That's brilliant.
So that was a great win for us.
Yes.
But again, there are those responsibilities, the issues of accountability and transparency to show impact and outcomes from the Global South is really needed. Reports needs to be shared with the rest of the team.
That's great, a great win for the country, of course. You know, we also had the Africa Climate Summit, and similarly, we also came out as winners in that. So maybe you can tell us exactly what you feel about the Africa Climate Summit as well, because you've mentioned that COP30 was a great deal. It worked out really well for us. How about the Africa Climate Summit?
Yeah, it went well.
Yes.
You know, our president is the chairman for CAHOS.
Yes.
He was present. We had multiple heads of state there. We had multiple delegates there. We had great deliberations, and we are happy we came out with a declaration that will be able to impact on matters of climate in Africa. And that is really good. And so we have to look again at sustainability of Africa Climate Summit, ensuring that we are routinely coming up with these declarations. We are checking on the gaps and seeing how to ensure that implementation is taking place. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. So that voice is really critical. And when we have the heads of state who are the highest, you know, the voices from the highest levels of the land, it is really critical because we'll have political will, we'll have political buy-in, and then they are the voice that will really engage other heads of states in order for us to mobilize resources and impact on our environment.
Dr. you've mentioned, you know, when it comes to impact and when it comes to mobilizing, sometimes do you think that Kenya is over-reliant on donors for climate financing? And how exactly can we try and use our own very resources that we have in the country for climate financing to be able to come up with these sustainable solutions without being over-reliant?
Wonderful question. Actually, I am against over-reliance.
That's good.
But let us remember that we contribute the least and have the highest impact.
True.
Our economies are still growing. Some of the African countries and the Global South are low-income countries. They are our brothers. And yet, they bear the greatest brunt, meaning most of their resources are shunted towards adaptation, towards loss and damage. You remember what happened in Elgeyo Marakwet, the floods that occurred in Namanjalala, you know, the rising lakes in Naivasha, we also saw it here.
In fact, we have a story that's going to be running right after this. Maybe we can watch it together.
Yes, yes. And so the impact is tremendous, and the resources are limited. And there are, again, some which may appear to be priorities, you see, conflicting priorities. And so that is why at these platforms, such as UNEA, COP30, Africa Climate Summit,
Yes.
we must be advocates to ensure that resources are being allocated to support. But definitely, we will not be dependent on that alone. We have to look within and see where else can we get resources. One of the key areas is, again, private-public partnership, engaging in those platforms, and we know that that will improve efficiency, effectiveness. We've seen it work in various sectors. Yes, so we can also look into that, among others, so that we can get resources from within.
Right. Just recently, President Donald Trump said that climate change is a hoax. And we saw that as well. What are your thoughts on that, especially coming at a time when the willingness of richer countries to be able to finance Kenya and the global south is something that we have discussed as well? So what is your thought on that now that he mentioned that climate change is the hoax?
Yes. So I believe, first of all, is that we need to come up with pragmatic solutions,
Yes.
authentic solutions,
Yeah.
which are scalable, which are showing impact within our country and, again, in Africa and the global south. I mean, when we have data-driven solutions, when we are showing impact, when there's tangible results, then there is no doubt of the impact. And so it calls upon each one of us to be able to show that, whether it's through research, etc. And again, looking at the other aspects like pollution,
Yes.
degradation, biodiversity loss. You see? We talked about AMR and the impact of climate change on antimicrobial resistance.
Yes.
The multiple infections, climate and health, climate and transport, etc. So we need to justify and convince each one of us to come on board. Because, as I said, environmental challenges are interconnected. If we are not all together, if we don't come together and come up with pragmatic solutions which are people-centric, then someone will suffer. Yes.
You know, in the beginning of this conversation, you had mentioned something very interesting, which actually has led me to my next question. And we are told that 60% of climate finance should come from domestic resources. Now, at a time, President Ruto actually mentioned and said that it's unfair because much of the burden is actually being given and placed on countries that have very, very little to do with climate crisis. And this is what President Ruto said during the previous UNGA summit. So what exactly are your thoughts on this? Would you like to expound on this? Because you did mention this earlier on that, you know, developing countries contribute least to climate change and have the biggest price to pay. So what exactly would you like to expound more on this particular statement?
Yes. You know, some of the countries are polluters, they are emitters.
Yes.
They are carbon emitters, they have big industries. And so they're the ones who are leading to the rising temperatures,
Absolutely.
the global warming, as well as causing the impacts that come thereafter. Erratic rains, you know, climate changes, floods, droughts. Water scarcity, etc. So we need to work together. We need to bring them together, and as I said, see how we can transition, how we can phase out some of these events that are impacting on our environment, and they need to be justifiable. In what sense? In matters of research.
Yes.
But again, showing that the other alternative is a better alternative when it comes to economy, industry, you know, investment, job creation, etc. So it is a journey.
Yes.
It is a journey. And we found it, but we continue to push, to advocate, to provide leadership, championship, share best practices for Kenya, from Kenya, and show that actually climate financing will have impact of the community and the world at large.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think that we can officially close. Maybe before we do, you can give some closing remarks and just speak to Kenyans at large on what exactly they can expect in these next few days, for 4 days, and how exciting of a time it is for us.
Yes, so we are excited to host UNEA 7.
Yes.
We hope that you will be with us. You will be present. We're inviting you. And if you can't be present, please watch, tag along a friend, see what it's all about, what we are looking into when it comes to environment, in climate change and forestry. What I can tell the youth is that every decision, every policy can change into improving economy and creating jobs, while we are healing or restoring our ecosystem, as well as addressing the climate changes and building resilience and sustainability. And so my plea to you is look into this. It's quite a very good platform to engage, to discuss, to see how we can prevent, we can actually protect our planet and our people, and how we can have better outcomes. So we look forward to seeing you, and also we look forward to hearing from you comments that will help improve our planet and our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That is Dr. Deborah Barasa, of course, CS, Environment, Forestry and Climate Change. Asante sana for being here in studio. This conversation has been quite insightful, I must add. And thank you so much for doing a great job in leading this climate activism that, you know, we very much need at this particular time in 2025 especially. And of course, moving forward, we hope that we can continue to see a world which is greener, cleaner, and a day when we can actually sit by our Nairobi River and enjoy very soon, right? I hope.
Yes, absolutely.
And enjoy clean air, and just be able to, like back in the day, you know, old times where you can sit by the river and just enjoy the beauty of our Nairobi River. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And with that, of course, we'd like to now move to climate